Hello, welcome, Abric evening, welcome to the Shap House. I am Reyna Chapeau, and today we are reading Creepypastas. Yay, pachi pachi pachi. Hello, SF, Abric evening. Jacob, Abric evening. Sylvan, Abric evening. Hold on, I need to cough. Excuse me. Happy Halloween, yes, to commemorate hitting the spooky number and passing the spooky number of subscribers, I decided to do a creepypasta reading. Hello. Yes. I selected a few stories from the internet. Some that are like spooky, some that are just horrifying in a different way, and some that are just kind of cursed. Because why not? I've got a nice selection of variety. I hope you enjoy. Some of these I haven't actually read before, but they were rated high on the Creepypasta website. And some of them I have read before, and I'm like, wow, I really hate this. I need to tell the world about this, so I have it here. I also have one piece of classic literature. I wanted to do more of them. I wanted to do like one more story from classic literature, but then I found out that it wasn't public domain, so I can't read it on the stream. I'm very sad about that. Hello, happy Monday. Happy Lunar New Year for those who celebrate it. I had a good time this weekend. I went to the shrine and lit some incense, and then I ate a lot of good food. Yep. And I fed a lion some red envelopes, and I am hoping to have a lot of good luck for the new year, even though I didn't clean at all. Hello, Yeti, welcome. Yo, Abric evening. Hello. So yeah, I have, let me see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe, yeah, about 8 or 9, 8 or 9 stories to read today. Hello, Pike, welcome, Abric evening. It's nice to see you here. Hello. I'm just chatting a bit, give people some time to trickle in. Oh yeah, as for the serial criminals choice, it's because like I didn't know how to like umbrella, you know, like stories that are kind of like more true crimey, like realistic horror, like, you know, home invaders or like serial killers like Jason and stuff, or like stalkers and things. So that's the reason. You're scared? Cereal animals. Yeah, animal cereals. Animal crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits, soup de loop. Cereal animals. Yes, the animals in cereal. But why are you scared though? I haven't started yet. Yeah, cereal is soup, what of it? Some chihuahuas are scary. Yeah, those little boys can be kind of vicious. They chomp ya. They'll like chomp you with their little chompers. Why are you scared? Also, why is my chat frozen? Oh, there we go. Why are Maltese puppies scary? They're so cute. They're fluffy, and they're so tiny. You can like hold them in one hand. You don't know when they decide to bite. They're fine. They're just saying hello. They're just cute. But yeah, today my day was good. I had work was super busy, and now I'm here. I've been playing a lot of critically acclaimed MMORPG, and that's going pretty well. Oh, and then I think I put this on my community post and on Twitter, but I'm going to be on a a little like collab of sorts on Saturday. I'll be a contestant in VTuber Family Feud, which will be hosted on Kirtir's channel. So we're going to let me get the link here. I'm gonna copy it down. Yeah, I'm in the, what is it, Rusty Spork family or something? Here. Copy link. Where are you? Where is this? Copy link. Copy link. There it is. There it is. Copy link to tweet. Good luck. You're in my team, Sylvan. You're in my team, Sylvan. You can't say that. Here, you guys. Like good luck. We're gonna need good luck. You're in my team. Yeah, Sylvan's gonna be there too. We're gonna be in the same team, so you gotta cheer both of us on. No, if Sylvan loses, then I'll lose too, Toro. You can't say that. How dare you? Don't disrespect the family. Family. I hope you win, Reyna. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for some stories? Are you ready for some spooky, scary stories to tell in the dark? Are you? Good luck to the other teams because we're def gonna win. Are you sure about that? I will cheer for whoever has the best. Come on, look at me. In team, it means arse. Okay. All right. Let's meet. I'm gonna mute the background music. I'm gonna mute the background. You'll cheer for me and not Sylv. Oh no, you gotta cheer for both of us because we're in it together. Have you not seen Family Feud? Is that one of the things you haven't seen before? Goodness. Alright, alright. Man. What's Family Feud? Someone needs to create some potions to help you win. Like the survey potion. Is Family Fluid the arguments at dinner? Okay. Okay. Just because our family argument means Family Feud to me. We'll talk about it later. Okay, creepypastas, guys. Are you guys ready? Let's see. Let's start. I'm gonna set the mood by turning off the BGM a bit. I'm gonna turn off the BGM. Okay. Spooky spaghetti time, baby. Okay. You're already scared? Why? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm here with you. Alrighty. Let's pull that over here. Alright. This first one is called I Found a Letter from My Stalker, written by Minister of Owls. I found this note nailed onto a tree in my front lawn. I really don't know how to describe it. I'll just let you read it yourself. Alright, so here's the start of the note. I saw you today. It was your birthday. You didn't see me. You hardly ever do these days. Your skin looks so nice and healthy. And your eyes, they're the most beautiful I'd ever seen them. You've grown so much. I remember how different you used to look when you were younger. I remember the day I first met you. It was 4 years ago. I was sitting at my desk, head down, listening to the teacher rattling off names for attendance. The teacher called out a name I didn't recognize, and a stranger's voice answered behind me. Was there a new student? The teacher didn't pause for a second, just continued calling out name after name. I turned my head to where the voice had come from. I saw you, a pale thing, so thin, your eyes so red, at a seat that should have been empty. I saw the fireflies flying around you, flickering. Dozens of them, never straying far from you. I saw them going through you and coming out your skin. Like you were a mist to them. Can you believe I thought you were a ghost? No one else seemed to acknowledge the new stranger sitting at the back of the class. Class after class, hour after hour passed as I waited for something to happen. For someone to notice you, for you to leave, for you to let a ghoulish scream and call out at me like in the horror story I was certain I was in. But nothing happened. Teachers came and went. My classmates laughed and slept. And you just sat there. The bell rang for recess. The other kids ran to their mundanities for the day, leaving me and you together in the empty classroom. You stood up and pulled a chair from the desk next to you, making it face your desk. You turned your head to me and spoke. Well, you're slow today. Come on, ask me your questions. I don't know why I didn't run away screaming at that moment. Probably would have turned out better for me in the long run, but let's not speculate. I guess, at that point in my life, I was pretty bloody lonely. I figured there was only a 50-50 chance you'd eat me, and the other 50 was that someone wanted to talk with me. Kid priorities don't make sense to me either these days. So I went along with the flow. I walked over to your desk, sat down on the chair you pulled for me, and asked my question. What were you? You told me you didn't know. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good one. Goodbye. Thank you for coming, Royal Crazy. You said that once you were a child, just like me, with parents and friends. You used to go to the same schools as me. Then one day, one ordinary day, when you were 10, you just woke up and you were like this, covered in fireflies, and no one could remember you the moment they concentrated on anything else. No one, not even your parents. You told me of how I'd noticed you every day, how I'd think of you until recess every day, how I'd come to you every day, how we would talk every day, how we would meet for the first time every day for the last 3 years, about how I'd forget the instant I walked out of the room, how everyone would forget you, how the fireflies would make them, how for the last 3 years you'd been alone. Your story was hard to believe, so I didn't. I asked what reality prank show I was on. You looked, well, unimpressed, and asked me to continue telling my story. I was caught off guard by the non sequitur. You said last time I was here, I was telling you a story, a horror story about a haunted house. As you detailed the story, goosebumps prickled my skin. It was a story I'd been making up in my head, a story I hadn't told anyone yet. At that moment, a million reactions were open to me, all simultaneously adequate and inadequate. But the only thing that seemed proper was to finish the story for you. So I did. Halfway through, you interrupted me to ask if my mother had recovered from her sickness yet. I had to shake my head, a bit ashamed at the fact that I shared this private matter to a stranger. The story ended a few minutes before recess. My next class was in another room. You told me to go. Your steadiness took me back. You seemed so accepting of your fate, like you've already gotten used to the idea of being forgotten forever. I was a kid back then. I wasn't a particularly smart kid, and I was probably on the onset of a crush, so you can excuse what I did next as an example of my childhood stupidity. I grabbed my scissors, pressed it against my arm's skin, and dug in. As it drew blood, I pushed it forwards, till the cut formed the shape I wanted. Letter by letter, I carved your name onto my arm. Just so you know, I don't regret that. Don't get me wrong, kid power might have made me do it, but it sure as hell didn't make the pain go away. It was one of the most most painful experiences of my life. Why are you so close to screen? Back up before you catch these answers. Excuse me. The disrespect, Jack. Hello, welcome, Abraka Evening. I will pile drive you. I just thought it would be nice to be a bit closer, make it a bit more of like a intimate reading, I suppose. You're such a good reader. Hi, Rai-san. Hello, hello. Where was I? Oh, welcome, by the way. But even then, as a kid, I thought what was happening to you was unfair. I remember how your eyes looked when you saw that. The confusion. How strange it was for you that anyone would want to remember. I remember that look so clearly. When I woke up the next day and saw your name on my arm, I remembered you. I didn't forget. That day, for the first time, we had a conversation that wasn't so one-sided. You said no one had ever done anything like that before and suggested I might have a mental illness. I won't deny it, that drew a little blood. As we talked, a creeping thought came into my head. Did you prefer it when I didn't remember? That night, I was sitting up on my bed, staring at your name on my arm, wondering if I should cover it up so I couldn't see it and give you back your privacy, when I heard a crash. I looked up to see my bedroom window shattered and a dirty rock on my floor. I looked out of the cracked window to see a dark figure on my lawn. You were outside yelling about how we should hang out. It took me a while to get used to how bad you were at talking to people. Years without practice made you quite a bit rusty. That was all right. We had a lot of time. For the next 2 years, we spent most of our free time together. Most of the time, we talked. You'd tell me an aspect of your life and how you lived. You still stayed in your old house. Your parents never noticed the food that had gone missing, never noticed the extra room, or that you'd stolen the extra keys. One night, I confided in you that I was beginning to think you were part of my imagination, Fight Club style. After all, what could you do to me that I couldn't do to myself? You spent the next month or so trying to leave bite marks on my ear or neck to prove a point. I still have a few scars on my ear, so I guess you did. Looking back, I could see the warning signs even then. Your skin seemed to get worse and worse, paler and paler, and you'd rubbed your eyes raw. It was in winter we had our wake-up call. The morning began like any other. I woke up, brushed my teeth, and started searching for clothes to wear. It was a winter morning, and my room was dark, so I didn't see your name on my arm. A cold sent shivers through my body and pulled out a long-sleeved jacket. A small bell rang in my head. Don't you usually roll your sleeves up? And yeah, why did I? That was annoying. I finished tidying up and headed to school. On the school bus, I felt all the content, like something I'd been worrying about had just disappeared. I walked up the school stairs, down the hall, through my classroom door, and sat down at my desk. The same feeling of a burden forgotten haunted my mind. What was I forgetting? When the recess came, I just sat at my desk, while my classmates ran out. It was like a ritual, but I didn't know what for. I was contemplating just walking out to join them when I heard it. It was something small in the wind, like a whisper, but it came over and over, incessant. It sounded like my name. I knew this was strange, that this was worth my attention, but I felt oddly calm. Everything would be all right. Everything would be fine. Just ignore it. I sat there at my desk, my mind a war zone between two conflicting, contradictory voices, when I felt a force tugging on my sleeve. The moment I noticed this, my jacket sleeve tore open. I saw your name on my arm, and then your hand that ripped my jacket open. You'd been yelling at me for over 20 minutes. I think that was the moment we realized how on edge our friendship really was. One accident away from complete erasure. We spent most of the next year in the town library together, trying to find out what the fireflies were. Zalgo, he comes. Not yet, not yet. This isn't Zalgo, not yet. It sounds so engaging. Thank you. By the way, hello, welcome, Joey D. Ramon. Abric evening. It's good to see you here. It wasn't really a problem for me. Because of my mother's treatment, my family couldn't afford to go on any trips, and our house didn't have heating anymore, so I was happy to spend my time with you. Trying to find information was a puzzle in and of itself. After all, how would I read about people I couldn't remember, and how would you find out who was special when no one could even remember enough about them to record them? We found our old family trees and records. Individually, we'd write down the name of everyone in the book on 2 lists, and then we would compare. The names I hadn't remembered to write down, but you had, would become the focus. They were names who were under the curse of the fireflies. We've compiled a list of suspicious books. Books we thought could help us, because they were run by or were about people we were searching for. I read the books with a list of names side by side, reading it again for every page of the book. You scoured the internet on the library computers, on the lookout for articles about the people. Our search would lead us to the first glimpse of what was really happening to you. It was late at night when you found the picture. I was a bit drowsy at that time, and almost about to nod off when I heard a sharp intake of breath. I turned to see you standing up, pointing at the screen. I didn't see anything. Well, anything noteworthy. On the screen was a picture of a clearing somewhere in the woods. You held up your piece of paper where you'd marked out 2 names. Susie Appleby Reagan, 13. Terry Appleby Reagan, 12. Siblings. For a moment, I saw the paper and the screen side by side. Side by side. And then I saw them. 2 figures emerging from the woods towards the camera. They were almost humanoid, with the exception of their limbs, which stretched to nightmarish proportions. Their blank white skin was that of a pure albino, and looked more like tree bark than anything you'd expect to find on a mammal. A cloud of fireflies surrounded the duo. The shorter one looked emaciated. I could see their rib cages, around which their eyes! God, their eyes! So small, so red. The taller one, with its white hair, it didn't look alive anymore. They were little more than skin wrapped around a skeleton. Fireflies swarmed out of the pair's empty eye sockets. Both reached for the cameraman. I looked at the article surrounding the picture. It was a blog posted by a hiker 20 years after the last mention of the 2 kids. The picture was a mystery to the cameraman as well. He'd been wanting to go to the woods pictured for a while now, but he never actually remembered going there. The picture had just appeared on his camera one day, out of the blue. For a moment, I looked at your face. Your thin, pale face, with those red-veined eyes. Would that be you in my scar faded? Just a walking horror I glimpse, then forget? We worked through our reading list at a much faster pace starting from that moment. Maybe we should have gone slower. At least every book, every website we'd left untouched, promised hope. The books that we finished and tossed aside promised nothing but the clearing in the woods as one's future. And we tossed aside a lot of books. I believe I tore through 3/4 of my reading list before I stumbled across a journal. Oh God, that horrible, horrible journal. The journal used to belong to a mental patient named Joey, who claimed to be a serial killer. He was locked up in an asylum when the police discovered his supposed victims never existed. He was diagnosed with a need for attention and shoved away. They should have electrocuted him. They should have fried him until his flesh melted and his hair burned. In this journal, he talked about how he carried out his killings. He knew things, bizarre and disturbing things no one else knew. He knew of strange creatures that lived in the woods. Of them, his favorites were the fireflies. I'm not going to tell you how he summoned these things. I trust you. I trust you more than anyone. But a thing like this belongs to the ground more than ever will to the human mind. In the end, it's sufficient to know that these things were not fireflies. Joey would start his ritual by taking a kid. Any kid. Anyone he pleased. He would take them at any time in the dead of night from their own homes, or in broad daylight from their front yards. It didn't matter if he was seen. He'd take them to his house and drag them inside. Usually an Amber Alert came up at that point. He didn't care. Like I said, it wouldn't matter soon. He'd drag them to a special room in his house. Here, the fireflies would come and latch onto them. Now, nobody was searching for the kids. Not the police, not the parents, nobody. From then on, he could do whatever he wanted to the kid. Jesus Christ. He'd get bored of them after a day or two, after the child had broken. At that point, he disposed of them. Hacksaw, kitchen knife, anything would work. He detailed a large pit of bodies he kept in the woods, swarming with bugs. One day, I guess he got bored of that too, so he went right to the police station and turned himself in. Not on account of guilt, no. He was just wanted someone to know about the stuff he was doing. That sick bastard. Oh, no, don't get the wrong idea. He never stopped killing kids. The asylum doors don't stop him from doing what he liked. It just made him improvise. He made a new way. He modified the flies so they could survive without a host, just in a dormant state. When a child, he specified the age, would approach the swarm, it would latch on and begin its effect. Over the years, the child would warp horribly into the things we saw in the woods. I wish I could hate him in peace. I wish I could say the world owed him nothing, but that wouldn't be true. He detailed a way out. On the final page, there was an exact explanation on how to get rid of the fireflies. You must have seen something on my face because, at that moment, you asked if I had found anything. I said no and closed the book. A few minutes later, you shut down the computer. You picked up the last book and went through it yourself. When you reached the end cover, you tossed it aside. I asked what we should do now. You said it was all right. I could go home. We'd talk about it in the morning. I stood up and walked past the shelves of the books. I headed for the library entrance, but stood right outside the door and waited. I waited until I heard the sniffling sounds. I sneaked back to our table, where you were quietly sobbing. You had your head in your hands. I sat back down as you raised your eyes to me. You said you wished you never met me, how happy you were when you had nothing to lose, how I ruined your life. You never really gotten better at talking to people. That was the worst love confession I've ever heard. I remember how we kissed that night. I remember your hands gripping my hair. I remember that kiss. I wish it could have been just a kiss. I'm sorry I ruined that moment. When my arms were around you, I was close enough to steal a firefly without you noticing. I remember holding the firefly in my hand. I remember how it struggled until it didn't. Until it was a part of me. The firefly shifted. It came over to me and left you. I remember the familiar look in your eyes. The confusion. I never wanted to see that confusion in your eyes again. You deserve to be loved, and you deserve to know that. I wasn't really living anyway. You reached for me. I pulled away as the last lights of recognition faded from your eyes. And then you were just staring at a stranger, walking away into a crowd of strangers. That was a year ago. You've gotten so much better since then. You have so many friends now. So many people at your birthday. You also look so much healthier. I haven't been as fortunate. My skin's got a lot paler, and my eyes hurt all the time too. I couldn't go to school like you did all those years. I haven't wasted my time though. I found Joey's pit. The bodies. There were so many bodies. There's a grave for those children now. Without me, my mom could afford her surgery. She looked so happy. Just yesterday, I saw her playing with my baby brother. I saw you crying yesterday. You were with your friends, laughing. For a brief moment, your eyes met mine, and then they were dripping with tears. I think I'm going away. For good, I think. You're not going to be happy if I stick around. I'm so happy I met you, even if you don't remember me. Wow. Jeez. Wow. Oh, there's more? That was the end of the note. Okay, and then this is the person who received the note. Sometimes I go through depressive episodes. I feel so lonely, even with my friends. I don't know what's going on through my head during these times, and sometimes I'd end up in the bathtub, a knife in my hands and my wrist bleeding. Up until now, I thought I was cutting my wrists. I wasn't. The cuts, they're letters. I've been carving a name onto my arm. Dang. Wow. I like the twist ending. Yeah, me too. This was my first time reading it. That's pretty good. Yeah, this was a good pasta. That is a very good pasta. Drink water. Whew. Okay, that's the first one down. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. You would not believe your eyes that 10 million fireflies make teenagers disappear and turn into monsters. Pachi, 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 thank you. Amogus, Amogus. Alright, so Rice-san is doing a homework on messed up historical things. Very well. I shall read this essay from 1729 then. This is my next piece. You guys may have read this in school, possibly high school. Pile driver chapeau. Okay, so this one is an essay by Dr. Jonathan Swift, written in 1729. So it might be a little hard to understand, but hopefully you understand. It's one of my favorite. Is it Frankenstein? No. Frankenstein is too long for the stream. But maybe in another stream. Okay. So this is called A Modest Proposal for Preventing the Children of Poor People in Ireland from being a burden on their parents or country, and for making them beneficial to the public. All right. By Dr. Jonathan Swift. It is a melancholy object to those who walk through this great town or travel in the country when they see the streets, the roads, and cabin doors crowded with beggars of the female sex, followed by 3, 4, or 6 children, all in rags, and importuning every passenger for an alms. These mothers, instead of being able to work for their honest livelihood, are forced to employ all their time in strolling to beg sustenance for the helpless infants who, as they grow up, either turn thieves for want of work, or leave their dear native country to fight for the Pretender in Spain, or sell themselves to the Barbados. I think it is agreed by all parties that this prodigious number of children in the arms, or on the backs, or at the heels of their mothers, and frequently of their fathers, is in the present deplorable state of the kingdom a very great additional grievance, and therefore who could find out a fair, cheap, and easy method of making these children sound and useful members of the Commonwealth, who would deserve so well of the public as to have a stature set up for a preserver of the nation. But my intention is very far from being confined to provide only for the children of the professed beggars. It is of a much greater extent, and shall take in the whole number of infants at a certain age, who are born of parents in effect as little able to support them, as those who demand our charity in the streets. As to my own part, having turned my thoughts for many years upon this important subject, and maturely weighed the several schemes of our projectors, I have always found them grossly mistaken in their computation. It is true, a child just dropped from its dam may be supported by her milk for a solar year, with little other nourishment, and most not above the value of 2 shillings, which the mother may certainly get, or the value in scraps, by her lawful occupation of begging, and it is exactly at 1 year old that I propose to provide for them in such a manner as, instead of being a... Oh no, the Popo Family, no. Instead of being a charge upon their parents, or the parish, or wanting food and raiment for the rest of their lives, they shall, on the contrary, contribute to the feeding and partly to the clothing of many thousands. There is likewise another great advantage in my scheme, in that it will prevent those voluntary abortions and that horrid practice of women murdering their bastard children, alas, too frequent among us, sacrificing the poor innocent babes, I doubt, more to avoid the expense than the shame, which would move tears and pity in the most savage and inhuman breast. The number of the souls in this kingdom being usually reckoned 1.5 million, of these I calculate there may be about 200,000 couple whose wives are breeders, from which number I subtract 30,000 couple who are able to maintain their own children, although I apprehend there cannot be so many under the present distresses of the kingdom. But this being granted, there will remain 170,000 breeders. I again subtract 50,000 for those women who miscarry, or whose children die by accident or disease within the year. There only remained 120,000 children of poor parents annually born. The question therefore is, how this number shall be reared and provided for, which, as I have already said, under the present situation of affairs, is utterly impossible by all the methods hitherto proposed. For we can neither employ them in handicraft or agriculture, they neither build houses, in this country, nor cultivate land. They can very seldom pick up a livelihood by stealing till they arrive at 6 years old, except where they are of towardly parts, although I confess they learn the rudiments much earlier. During the time, they can however be properly looked upon only as probationers, as I have been informed by a principal gentleman in the country of Cavan, who protested to me that he never knew above 1 or 2 instances under the age of 6, even in a part of a kingdom so renowned for the quickest proficiency in that art. I am assured by our merchants that a boy or girl that a boy or girl before 12 years old is no saleable commodity, and even when they come to this age, they will not yield above 3 pounds or 3 pounds and a half, a crown at most, on the exchange, but it cannot turn to account either to the parents or kingdom. The charge of nutrients and rags have been at least 4 times that value. I shall now, therefore, humbly propose my own thoughts, which I hope will not be liable to the least objection. I have been assured by a very knowing American of my acquaintance in London that a young, healthy child well nursed is, at a year old, a most delicious, nourishing, and wholesome food, whether stewed, roasted, baked, or broiled, and I make no doubt that it will equally serve in a fricassee or ragout. I do, therefore, humbly offer it to public consideration that of the 120,000 children already computed, 20,000 may be reserved for breed, whereof only 1/4 part to be males, which is more than we allow to sheep, black cattle, or swine, and my reason is that these children are seldom the fruits of marriage, a circumstance not much regarded by our savages. Therefore, 1 male will be sufficient to serve 4 females, that the remaining 100,000 may, at a year old, be offered to sale in the persons of quality and fortune, and through the kingdom, and always advising the mother to let them suck plentifully in the last month, so as to render them plent and fat for a good table. A child will make 2 dishes at an entertainment for friends, and when the family dines alone, the fore or hind quarter will make a reasonable dish, and seasoned with a little pepper or salt, it will be very good boiled on the 4th day, especially in winter. I have reckoned upon a medium that a child just born will weigh 12 pounds, and in a solar year, if tolerably nursed, increases to 28 pounds. I grant this food will be somewhat dear, and therefore very proper for landlords who, as they have already devoured most of the parents, seem to have the best title to the children. Infant's flesh will be in season throughout the year, but more plentiful in March, and a little before and after, for we are told by a grave author, an eminent French physician, that fish being a prolific diet, there are more children born in Roman Catholic countries about 9 months after Lent than at any other season. Therefore, reckoning a year after Lent, the markets will be more glutted than usual, because the number of popish infants is at least 3 to 1 in this kingdom, and therefore it will have one other collateral advantage by lessening the number of papists among us. I have already computed the charge of nursing a beggar's child, in which list I reckon all cottagers, laborers, and 4/5 of the farmers to be about 2 shillings per annum, rags included, and I believe no gentleman would repine to give 10 shillings for the carcass of a good fat child, which, as I have said, will make 4 dishes of excellent nutritive meat, when he hath only some particular friend, or his own family to dine with him. Thus the squire will learn to be a good landlord, and grow popular among his tenants. The mother will have 8 shillings neat profit, and will be fit for work till she produces another child. Those who are more thrifty, as I must confess the times require, may flay the carcass, the skin of which, artificially dressed, will make an admirable glove for ladies, and summer boots for fine gentlemen. As to our city of Dublin, shambles may be appointed for this purpose, in the most convenient parts of it, and butchers we may be assured will not be wanting, though I'd rather recommend buying the children alive and dressing them hot from the knife, as I do roasting pigs. Dots. Are you okay, Sylvan? Promise never advice. A very worthy person, a true lover of his country, and whose virtues I highly esteem, was lately pleased in discoursing on this matter, to offer a refinement upon my scheme. He said that many gentlemen of this kingdom, having of late destroyed their deer, he conceived that the want of venison might be well supplied by the bodies of young lads and maidens, not exceeding 14 years of age, nor under 12. So great a number of both sexes in every country, being now ready to starve for want of work and service, and these to be disposed of by their parents if alive, or otherwise by their nearest relations, but with due reference to so excellent a friend and so deserving a patriot, I cannot be altogether in his sentiments, for as to the males, my American acquaintances assured me from frequent experience that their flesh was generally tough and lean, like that of our schoolboys, by continual exercise, and their taste disagreeable, and to fatten them would not answer the charge. Then as to the females, it would, I think, with humble submission, be a loss to the public, because they soon would become breeders themselves. And besides, it is not improbable that some scrupulous people might be apt to censure such a practice as a little bordering upon cruelty, which, I confess, has always been with me the strongest objection against any project, however soever intended. But in order to justify my friend, he confessed that this expedient was put into his head by a famous, you can't pronounce this, a native to the island Formosa who came from thence to London above 20 years ago, and in conversation told my friend that in his country, when a young person happened to be put to death, the executioner sold the carcass to persons of quality as a prime dainty, and that in his time, the body of a plump girl of 15 who was crucified for an attempt to poison the emperor was sold to his Imperial Majesty's Prime Minister of State. And other great mandarins of the court enjoins from the gibbet at 400 crowns. Neither, indeed, can I deny that if the same were of use made of several plump young girls in this town, who without one single groat to their fortunes cannot stir abroad without a chair, and appear at a playhouse and assemblies and foreign fineries they will never play for, the kingdom would not be the worst. I have too long digressed, and therefore shall return to my subject. I think the advantages by the proposal which I have made are obvious and many, as well as the highest importance. For first, as I have already observed, it would greatly lessen the number of papists, with whom we are yearly overrun, and being the principal breeders of the nation, as well as our most dangerous enemies, and who stay at home on purpose with a design to deliver the kingdom to the pretender, hoping to take their advantage by the absence of so many good Protestants, who have chosen rather to leave their country than stay at home and pay tithes against their conscience to an episcopal curate. Second, the poorer tenants will have something valuable of their own, which by law may be made liable to distress, with help to pay their landlords the rent, their corn and cattle already being seized, and money a thing unknown. Thirdly, whereas the maintenance of 100,000 children from 2 years old and upwards cannot be computed at less than 10 shillings apiece per annum, the nation's stock will thereby increase £50,000 per annum, besides the profit of a new dish, introduced to the tables of all gentlemen of fortune in the kingdom, who have any refinement in taste, and the money will circulate among ourselves, the goods being entirely of our own growth and manufacture. Any other advantages may be enumerated. For instance, the addition of some 1,000 carcasses and our exportation of barreled beef, the propagation of swine's flesh, and improvement in the art of making good bacon, so much wanted among us by the great destruction of pigs, to frequent at our tables, which are no way comparable in taste or magnificence to a well-grown, fat yearling child, which roasted whole will make a considerable figure at a Lord Mayor's feast, or any public entertainment. But this, and many others, I omit, being studious of brevity. Supposing that 1,000 families in the city would be constant customers for infant's flesh, besides others who might have it at merry meetings, particularly at weddings and christenings, I compute that Dublin would take off annually about 20,000 carcasses, and the rest of the kingdom will remain with the remaining 80,000. I can think of no one objection that will possibly be raised against this proposal, unless it should be urged that the number of people will thereby much lessened in the kingdom. This I freely own, and was indeed one principal design in offering it to the world. I desire the reader will observe that I calculate my remedy for this one individual kingdom of Ireland, for no other than ever was, or I think ever can be upon earth. Therefore let no man talk to me of other expedients, of taxing our absentees at 5 shillings a pound, of using neither clothes nor household furniture, except what is of our own growth and manufacture, of utterly rejecting the materials and instruments that promote foreign luxury, of curing the expensiveness of pride, vanity, idleness, and gaming in our women, of introducing a vein of parsimony, prudence, and temperance, of learning to love our country, wherein we differ even from Laplanders and the inhabitants of Tompanambu, of quitting our animosities and factions, nor acting any longer like the Jews who were murdering one another at the very moment their city was taken, of being a little cautious not to sell our country and consciences for nothing, of teaching landlords to have at least one degree of mercy towards their tenants. Lastly, of putting a spirit of honesty, industry, and skill into our shopkeepers, who, if a resolution can now be taken to buy only our native goods, would immediately unite to cheat and exact upon us in price the measure, and the goodness no could ever yet be bought to make one fair proposal of just dealing, though often and earnestly invited to it. I profess in the sincerity of my heart that I have not in the least personal interest in endeavoring to promote this necessary work, other than no other motive than the public good of my country, by advancing our trade, providing for infants, relieving the poor, and giving some pleasure to the rich. I have no children by which I can propose to get a single penny, the youngest being 9 years old, and my wife past childbearing. Whew. That's a lot. Okay, so it's a bit long-winded, and it is an eyebrow-raising at first, but it was written on purpose, so little history lesson. This essay is basically a satirical writing. Basically, this guy was like, hey, since you guys don't want to do since you guys don't want to help fix the economy and help the poor, and help the poor and with other more common sense situations, why don't we just boost the economy by having the poor people sell their children to the rich for food? And then towards the end he was like, well, if you're shocked by that, if that grosses you out, maybe you should actually do something about this, so that was actually the point of the essay. But also it's pretty creepy. It's a creepy piece of literature. It was required reading in my high school. That doesn't gross me at all. Be right back. I'm going to try winning the lottery. I wanted to read the lottery, but then I found out that I wanted to read the lottery, but I found out that it's not public domain, so I can't read it on the stream. I was bummed out about that. But yes. All right. Next creepypasta. Woo! Woo woo woo. Oh, it's already been an hour. Let's go. All right. This one is a classic. This one's a classic. This one's probably one of the more scary ones. It's a very well-known creepypasta. So, you better prepare yourself, okay? Okay? Are you guys ready? There's it might not be for the faint-hearted. Jeff, it's just as famous as Jeff. Don't worry. Okay. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Okay. So you're with your honey and you're making out, and when the phone rings, you answer it and the voice says, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl and she'd say, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone? Thank you. Thank you. God. So terrifying. I'm so sorry if I traumatized any of you with that. You really went from serious to mocking. I love that. Why must you bring cringe? But guys, it was phone. Who was phone? Who was phone? I mean, I thought I should have I thought I should bring in palate cleansers after more heavy readings. That's why I sprinkled a few in here. Who was phone? All right. Oh, did you know there's a second version of this? I'm familiar with this one, but apparently there was another version of this, and this is the first time I heard it. Okay, it goes like this. It's a bit longer. Okay, so basically it's like this. You are at a friend's house for like the night or whatever, and then you guys are making out on the couch. Yeah! And then like her dad calls on the phone and says like, no, she likes it more if you use the other hand. Yeah. And you're all like, oh dude, your dad is trying to give me advice on how to diddle you. And then she's like, I don't have a dad or whatever, but what? Who has phone? How do indie VTubers get their models? Hello, Dorito Fucker 69. Welcome, Abrica Evening. I bought it. You go to an artist and you're like, hey, artist, I love your art, and you make VTuber models. Here is $1,000. Here is $1,000. Please make me a model. And then they're like, okay, cool. And then you're like, cool. And then you wait like a few months, and then you have a model. It was the mom. She was coming up as a DJ, and I know where it's going. Oh shit. Alrighty. Alright, let's go back to actual creepypastas and not crappy pastas. Alright. This one is a classic. One of my favorite ones. This one is it's the Russian sleep experiment. This was pretty popular in high school. For those who don't know, the Russian sleep experiment is a supposedly factual account of experimentation acted out on subjects by the Soviet government and military in the wake of World War II. The experiment, ostensibly meant to explore the effects of sleep deprivation on the human body, was also used to test a new gas that could keep people awake for days at a time. Who have always heard about this, but I never read it? Okay, well, you're in for a treat. Thanks for explaining. You're welcome. Russian sleep experiment creepypasta story. Okay, here you go. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake, so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Water break. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised, falsely, that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noticed that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were, and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones in one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them. At first, researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about his behavior is how the other captives reacted to it. Or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The 2 non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped, and so did the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working. since they thought it impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn 1 of your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice response. "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphone began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as a pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened, and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. The food rations past 5 days had not been so much as touched. They were chunks of meat from the dead There were chunks of meat from the dead test subject's thighs and chest stuffed into the drain of the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth as the researchers initially thought. Closer examination of the positions and angles of the wounds indicate that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed. While the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the ribcage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact, as they had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Yes, they ate themselves. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternatively begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on, lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured, and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative, and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. When the heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out to the point there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the word "more" over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the three was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative that they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier was holding that wrist as well. It only took a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had triple the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in a struggle not to be subdued. Most of them were from the force his own muscles had exerted on them. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed, he was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested, reluctantly, that they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to recover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically possible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, and why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given: "I must remain awake." All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced, and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what to be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commanding officer, a former KGB agent, instead saw potential, and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all 3 stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point, all 3 were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might, first left, then right, then left again for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brainwaves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering from brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on the paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut at the same moment his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of a deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as the one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal his chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject still restrained to a bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you, he screamed at the man strapped to the table. What are you? He demanded. I must know. The subject smiled. Have you forgotten so easily? The subject asked. We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go into the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. The researcher paused. They aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out. So nearly free. Yep. So that is it. So that's it. Yep. Did I come in halfway through a horror? Yes. It's going to be hard to sleep tonight. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm here. I think the patients were Simpson. It's less scary. Yeah, coping through, like, yeah, I always, like, try to cope through fear with humor. Okay, it's okay, guys. I have a cleanser. I've got a cleanser, kind of. It's still a bit cursed, but, it's still a bit cursed, but, it's less scary. It's not Jeff. It's not Jeff. I'm good. No. Don't worry. Don't worry. Are these from No Sleep? It's from the Creepypasta archive. All right. This one is... Oh, you're good for another? Please. Okay. So this one is from Reddit. It's a series. Well, it's a very short reading, but it's been a classic. All right. Are you ready? This one is like horrifying in a different sense. Okay. Who was Fawn? Of course it's from Reddit. Reddit stays with the drama. Okay. Okay, are you ready? Hold on. Wait. All right. This is from Today I Effed Up. Today I Fucked Up. Hello, Fat Cat. Welcome, Maverick Evening. We're just reading cursed Reddit posts and creepypastas to celebrate 666 subscribers. My 20 female girlfriend of 2 years told me the music that I, 25M, play during getting it on is weird and a major turnoff. Okay, I'm going to this one's a little explicit, so I'm going to be censoring a few things so I don't get bonked. All right. A little backstory. Oh my god, this one. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this one, but I'm gonna read it because I read this and I read it to Sylvan and Toro yesterday, and I read this and now I need to tell everybody. Are you ready? Okay. A little backstory. When I first started being active with my love life, I researched into ways to be better as I was a little stiff and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I read online that you can play music and match the rhythm in order to put on a better performance. I searched love-making songs and slowly started creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. There are a few songs to my playlist, however, there is one song in particular, which actually happens to be my favorite, that my girlfriend hates and says turns her off in a major way. I don't understand why it has taken her 2 years to tell me she hates that song. It's a good love-making song with good rhythm. I feel the way I fucked up is that I could have possibly asked her previously if she likes the playlist or any song she'd like to add change. But to leave it for 2 years thinking that our love life is great, but in her eyes had just been ruined by music, has left the whole situation feeling awkward and I'm a bit annoyed. I pretty much played this tune every single time, so the amount of time she must have not been enjoying it, even when I thought the complete opposite is annoying, but also embarrassing in ways. Not to mention my previous partners. However, they never complained about the song, so maybe it's just her. It's fucked up the relationship, to be honest, because getting it on feels awkward now. The other day, we were doing it with no music, but I was still thrusting to the tune playing in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought this song was perfect, and I always thrust along with a tune and feel it gives me the perfect rhythm for doing the deed to. I usually bust to this song and find it devastating that she hates this song. TLDR, she hates my love-making tunes and didn't tell me for over 2 years, making sex now awkward. Okay, and now, okay, I don't know if you guys heard the song. Crying, purple face crying. But yeah, the one that gets me is she recognized this and asked me to stop. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna play the song. I'm gonna play a bit of the song. Okay. Maybe I should... What... If I, like, will I get copyright striked if I play this song? Yeah, the first time I heard this song, I was like, I laughed for like 2 minutes. Yeah, oh yeah, I can link it, yeah, here. Like, it was... Here you go. Hi there, are we Satanists now? No, it's a child. We're watching. I thought it was, yeah, when the dolphin noises came in. Well, I mean, I can, maybe I'll play it, and then like if I get a copyright claim, or I get to, I can just I can cut it out. Okay. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Let me know if it's too loud. Is this loud? Oh, yeah. Like when this part came here, when this part like came on, this is when I like lost my shit. Like, how are you doing it? And then like I wiggled my hips for like a few minutes trying to figure out how he was doing it. Like okay, that's... What the fuck am I hearing? Hello, Soma. That was CBAT. Do you know the story, Soma? Should I, like, when you're here, should I read it again? Should I read CBAT again for you, Soma? Should I read the story again? Guys, should I read the story again for Soma, who just came here? Encore? Okay. Okay. I distinctly... The GF's feelings is understandable. Okay. Get ready for this, Soma. Alright, the title of this is called Today I Fucked Up. My girlfriend of 2 years told me that the music I play during getting it on is weird and a major turnoff. A little backstory. When I When I first lost my virginity, I researched into ways to be better as I was a little stiff and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I read online that you can play music and match the rhythm in order to put on a better performance. I searched lovemaking songs and started slowly creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. There are a few songs to my playlist. However, there is one song in particular, which actually happens to be my favorite, that my girlfriend hates and says turns her off in a major way. I don't understand why it has taken her 2 years to tell me that she hates this song. It is a good lovemaking song with good rhythm. I feel the way I fucked up is that I could have possibly asked her previously if she likes the playlist, or any song she'd like to add or change. But to leave it for 2 years thinking our sex life is great, but in her eyes had just been ruined by my music, has left the whole situation feeling awkward and I'm a bit annoyed. I pretty much play this tune every single time, so the amount of time she must have not been enjoying it, when I thought the complete opposite is annoying, but also embarrassing in ways. Not to mention my previous partners, however, they never complained about the song, so maybe it's just her. It's fucked up the relationships, to be honest, because doing it feels awkward now. The other day we were getting it on with no music, but I was still thrusting to the tune playing in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought this song was perfect, and I always thrust along to the tune and feel it gives me the perfect rhythm for doing the D2. I usually bust to the song and find it devastating she hates the song. Also, if aliens ever visit the Earth and request a culture exchange, I will give them this and say, "Here, the song of my people." Music. Yes, now you know. So yeah, that was CBAT. I just want to say I first found out about this one from Tor's server. It wasn't me scrolling Reddit. Tor would die. What song was it again? It's called CBAT. Like, here, I'll link it to you. I'll link it again in the chat. Here, you can listen to it at your own leisure. I was joking that I was gonna make a voice clip of me just doing like the CBAT thing like that. Like aliens just declare war at us. Yeah, so I was doing creepypastas, but now we're moving to cursed posts. We're doing like cursed posts now. All right, so there's a part 2 of this. When can we expect a full cover? I don't know if I'm gonna do a full cover of it. Could your voice even handle that? Okay. Yeah, like when I first heard that song, I was like losing my shit, and I was like wiggling around, trying to like figure out like how it was gonna work, like da 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 da, like. Oh, okay, so there's a sequel to this. Okay, there's a sequel to this, guys. There's a sequel to this. All right. The no context makes it so much worse because, like, say, bro. So there's a follow-up post. Okay, so he posted again like a few months later. Be right back in the leave match. Good luck. I hope you play CBAT while being in your match. All right, so the title of this follow-up is called "Today I Fucked Up," posting on Reddit about our sex life with CBAT, and now our relationship has ended. All right, okay, so this exploded more than I expected, and it has been a bit overwhelming with the messages, but I thought I'd give an update. The attention hasn't been exactly positive, and this hasn't been the best thing to happen for my relationship, and now it's sadly ended. I didn't expect it to blow up so much. I should have used an anonymous name instead of my real name and our real ages. There aren't many 25-year-old Tyler lives who are in a relationship with their significant other for 2 years who is 20. Unfortunately, her younger sister recognized this and showed her parents, who wasn't happy at all and made the situation extremely awkward. What made it more awkward and cemented the fact that it was me is that they recognized the song. Once at a family dinner, we were discussing music tastes, and my ex-girlfriend stated that I had an odd taste in music. Everyone laughed and pressed me to play something from my phone of what I like as music, to which I then blessed their ears with CBAT. Her father laughed and said it was terrible. I guess we all have different tastes. Although I nodded in agreement at the time, I was thinking in my head that this is such a great fucking song. We are over now, and I am moving on. I already revealed my face on TikTok, but with the amount of hate I originally got, I decided to say I didn't have it and backtracked. I don't think this song is that bad, and I had no idea that she didn't like it until recently, and as soon as I did, I stopped. I didn't force her, CBAT. Not all can handle CBAT. I know it's different. I know a lot have asked for a face reveal and playlist. My playlist I actually burned onto a CD and have been using my CD player, but I'll go on YouTube and try to link all the songs in one playlist and share. TLDR, made Reddit post and finished our relationship. I can't get it out of my head now. It sounds like the diagrams of a Atomic getting checked out by Terminator. Oh, he's a TikToker, makes sense. Breakup qualified. I miss the old days of Nyuk. It's okay. Not all can handle CBAT. There is also another sequel to this by a different person, okay? Hold on. Okay. Alright. Are you ready for this? There's a third part to the story. Who still burns CDs? Who even casts? Who keeps... Yes, but wait, there's more. There's more. Okay? Alright. This one is called, Today I fucked up by accidentally teaching my roommate's parrot to sing CBAT. My roommate doesn't know yet. It's a continuation, but wait, is there no? Okay. I am so dead. My roommate is out of town camping until the end of the weekend, and he's going to kill me when he finds out. Okay, so we all know the story with CBAT. No need to go into that. My roommate is out of town for a week, and I have the whole apartment to myself. 4 days ago, I, 29 male, asked my girlfriend, 29 female, if she would like to enjoy some delicious fun time while blasting CBAT. Her and I are both super weird, and are opening to do this kind of dumb stuff. To no surprise, she laughed and said yes. I just thought it would be funny to experience. To my surprise, it really wasn't as weird as I thought it would be. It might be that the love I have for her is so powerful that it left only about 5% of my brain power focusing on the dolphin sounds in the background. The next day, we decided to go at it again. Only this time, CBAT was a surprise for her. After a few minutes of kissing, I turned on the music and we both started laughing hysterically before getting it on. I even lasted longer than the day before, which I now regret. Here's the problem, which I stupidly did not even take a second to consider. While my roommate is out of town, I'm taking care of this parrot who dwells in our living room, which shares a very thin door with my bedroom. This is no ordinary parrot. This is a chatting Lori, same bird as that red one on YouTube that goes This bird does not shut up. He makes so much noise that I naturally learned to ignore him after a year of living with it. Anyway, somehow it never even crossed my mind that these parrots learn words and sounds and mimic them surprisingly accurately. Before leaving for work yesterday morning, I made some coffee and sat down in the living room for a bit, just relaxing and closing my eyes. All of a sudden, I hear the first few notes of CBAT in perfect pitch and rhythm. I open my eyes and this little dude is staring me dead in the face. 5 to 10 seconds pass, and I hear it again. I just grab my things and left for work immediately. I had to escape, figuring I'd just find a way to fix this or explain this later. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that I'm just dead. My roommate isn't weird like me, and he hates when I say silly things to the bird. When he comes back this weekend, I'm worried he's gonna give a notice and leave. Any advice on how to go about this would be greatly appreciated. I'm sweating as I'm writing this. And no, for privacy reasons, I will not be posting a video of the bird. TLDR, I tried intercourse with my GF twice while playing CBAT just for the experience, and my roommate's parrot learned the song. My roommate doesn't know about this yet. Oh, and then he recorded a Vokaroo clip of the bird. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Do you want to hear the audio? Do you want to hear Seabird? Enjoy Seabird. God help me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Are you ready for this? CBAT is an eldritch entity. Okay, ready? Okay. Alright. Happy New Year, Oliver! What the fuck was that sound at CBAT? Oh, Oliver, you missed CBAT. You missed CBAT. You missed CBAT. You gotta read the CBAT story. No, you want me to read the CBAT story again? That's like, this is gonna be the third time I read CBAT. We can't. No, not another encore. Okay, we're gonna move on with the rest of my stories, and then if you're at the end and you need it, I'm going to. I'll read CBAT again as an encore if we get to the end. Okay. Oh yeah. Also, CBAT. Also, there's a sequel to the Seabird. Okay. CBAT parent update. Today I fucked up, kept deleting my update post, so I'm posting it here. I screwed up again. So for those who don't know, I accidentally taught my roommate's parrot to sing CBAT while trying to experience getting it onto the song while my roommate was out of town. Well, my roommate got back into town on Sunday evening, and later that night I confessed my treason. I told him that I blasted CBAT in bed twice, and that his parrot learned the tune, and I told him how sorry I was and that it was completely unintentional. After all, it's his little birdie, and I would never purposely try and corrupt it. Slowly feel my spine petrified to stone. This is fine. Like all the creepies, like all the scary stories I'm reading, and everyone's like losing their mind over CBAT. My roommate's response was, "What the hell is CBAT?" At this moment, I realized that I had to only keep my mouth shut, that I could have gotten away with it. To someone who doesn't know what CBAT is, that melody just sounds like a normal pattern of chirps that birds tend to pick up. But no, I just had to ruin it. So now that I've opened Pandora's box, I had to show him the CBAT story and play him the song. He thought it was the stupidest thing he's ever heard. Then we sat and waited till the bird sang it, and it did. And I can confidently say that he was very mildly annoyed that his bird is now more annoying than it was before. Now he's getting back at me by constantly teasing me around our friends for having had done the deed to CBAT twice, and they've started joining in. We were having a game night on Monday playing Among Us with some mutual friends, and he kept calling meetings just to say stuff like, "Orange is an imposter." While the lights were off, I saw him effing to CBAT in a lek. And then some of our friends started doing similar shit. Weird. So now a bunch of my friends know that I did it to CBAT, which is pretty embarrassing, honestly. But then again, at least it's a relief to know that he found some way to help even the score. Although a bird singing a lovemaking song for a lifetime, I hope he doesn't tease me forever. TLDR, told my roommate that I accidentally taught his parrot CBAT, only to learn that he has never heard the song or story until I spoke of it. Now, him and his friends are making fun of me for it, and I feel embarrassed as fuck around them now, and I deserve it all. There you go. That concludes the CBAT saga and Seabird sequel. Oh, thank you for the raid. Oops, that's such an awkward one. Hello, Subasa. Thank you for the raid. Hello. Thank you. I mean, thank you for the live redirect. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome. I'm sorry that you guys had to join in on like me talking about CBAT. Sorry. Thank you so much, guys. Hello. Let me link your channel. Good, you missed CBAT. I feel sad. I feel bad for whoever made that song. He actually ended up roasting OP on his latest album, saying that that his new song is better to like get it on with compared to CBAT. Troy Spears, wait, you can rate on YouTube? Yeah, you can live redirect if you have 1,000 subscribers. So I can receive them, but I can't send them yet. But I'm hoping to get there. Hello, Troy Spears. Welcome, Abric Evening. CBAT, is that a kind of bat? Living near the sea? You'll learn, Oliver. I might read it again towards the end of the stream. But hello, everyone. Welcome, Abric Evening. My name is Reyna Chapeau. I am a magical phantom thief on a quest to steal as many hearts as possible. My main content is streaming indie games and also a bit of just chatting, and sometimes I do song covers. Right now, we are commemorating 666 subscribers on my channel by reading creepypastas and curse stories such as CBAT. She also has grass. No, my hair is not grass. Please do not. My viewers, the chaperones, they might say like that I'm a raccoon or my hair is made of grass, and I am none of those things. Dang, I love your voice. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. I am not a raccoon. Stop. I'm not a raccoon. I am not a raccoon. Do not say that. I dug into the trash one time, and then you brand me as a raccoon. This hateration. The hateration, please. Please. Now you're the grassy, all need to okay, I'll take that, I guess. Don't let them gaslight. All right. And she is short. She had to use a box to read. No. Okay, I am not short. Please. My Look. I'm very long. Hold on. Do you see how long I am? See? Huh? Like, look how long I am. Look how long I am. By the way, how does your hair work? Is it layered? Yes, it's layered. It's layered, and then I can compress it with the power of magic. Floating doesn't count, please. You're just jumping up and down. It's perception. I'm not a grass creature. All right, so that's the saga of CBAT, okay? All right, the next one is not, you're just 5 raccoons. I am not 5 raccoons in a Letterman jacket. How dare you? How dare you? This is disrespect. Oh, Mie! Oh, thank you so much for the live redirect. Thank you, Mie. Thank you. Let me link your channel. Congrats on IkiCon, by the way. Mie raid, yay! I'm so glad that Mie raided before, like, I'm so happy that like Mie rated after I finished CBAT. I was like I was like kind of I don't want people to go to like come from like Mie's stream talking about dim sum and Lunar New Year and to like me like just like talking about CBAT. Hello, welcome. Thank you. I hope you're having a great stream. Congrats on 666 subs. Hello. You gotta check the VOD later. Thank you. Yes, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope you had a good New Year, Mie. Hello everybody. Welcome. Have a good evening. I am Reyna Chapeau. There is no background music right now because I am reading some creepypastas and cursed Reddit posts. Just to celebrate 666 subscribers, a spooky number. So I thought this would be a little fun to do. I have like a few like scary stories and then like not scary, but like cursed VTuber self-introductions and Q&A. Happy Lunar New Year. It was fun to celebrate. I'm glad. Okay, let me find your channel link here. Yeah, everyone, please subscribe to Mie. She is super cute. And she has like fun and interesting streams. I lurk a lot in her streams, but I'm like too scared to say anything. But like she's awesome and like super cool and she rated me and I'm panicking internally a bit. Every time, yes, she is. I am not a raccoon, please. My chaperones say that I am a raccoon or that my hair is made of grass, which are all false allegations. Please do not believe that. I am just a phantom thief. I steal hearts. I do magic tricks sometimes, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping to have a second costume soon, so I'm pretty excited about that. Please stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy your stay. Don't panic. You're always so nice. I appreciate you lurking in my streets. Thank you. So yeah, we're reading some scary stories today. Can you give us a shadow thingy so we can make prediction? An item filled a silent item is set. Really, your Bibles and crosses. Yes. All right. The next story. We'll get to the next story. Got to put my storyteller voice on. Let me take a water break here. All right. This one is written by an anonymous author. It's called Hoodie. Have you ever been influenced by clothing? I don't mean confidence by the looks. Have you ever been given more control than ever by an item? Or a truth, just a favorite shirt? Have you ever been influenced in the worst way? By showing the truth? The following is taken directly from a journal entry. The entries were written by a notorious but unknown killer. He is notorious in the means that everybody has seen his work. He is unknown because nobody knows that he has done it. His origin is unusual. No troubles, no evil family, no magic or paranormal forces. His life was chosen by him, and him alone. His identity is also unknown. He'll be named from here on as the Hooded Man. April 3, 2004. It has been really cold around here. I don't have anything really to cover myself. All I have are my t-shirts and jeans. So today I decided to get a jacket. I was just in a local store. Nothing special. It's a black hoodie with white lining. I think it looks pretty cool. And when I tried it on, the attendant said it suits me just fine. I said thanks to be polite. Common courtesy is so hard to find. So I bought it. I haven't taken it off yet. Not only is it warm, but I can't really see myself doing amazing things in it. When I look at the mirror, I smirk. I feel amazing. I can't really explain it, but I like it. I really like it. I feel the need to put my hood up. So think about the hood has a way of asking a person. Even though it shows their face, it hides something, somewhere. It's really late right now. I've been feeling so great all day. Time flew around me. I'll have to explain more tomorrow. April 10. I've had a hell of a week. I felt so great. I walked the halls like a big shot. I'm sure I looked smug. That's why Jack challenged me. He was so angry. Who never do? Ignoring an insult was more insulting than responding with shrewd comments about someone's family. He antagonized me. He asked for it. He threw a hard punch, and I stood. It stung harder than before when I actually argued with him. I felt so cool all week. My confidence kept me up. I punched him hard in the stomach, and I lifted him up with an underhook. It felt so good. It really did. Parents calling. April 14. Jack still isn't in out of the hospital. They said he is in a lot of pain. He spit a lot of blood. His parents told me over the phone. I reflected on it, on how great it felt when my fists connected, how his cracked screams sounded. That's good to hear, I said blankly. I don't care about Jack. I smiled at his pain. I kept staring. I keep staring at my mirror. I am always wearing my favorite hoodie. It feels so empowering. My friends would laugh at what I say. They would compare me to Spider-Man in his black suit. Spider-Man threw his power away. I don't plan on doing anything with my source of confidence. April 22. Jack has gone to a better place. The words rang through my ears. He's dead. He lost too much blood. Jesus Christ, that must have been a really hard punch. That was like, he must have like Falcon punched him or like Shoryuken him. Jesus. Like that, like this is ruining my immersions. His father told me the day I visited that he was losing blood due to a personal health condition. Oh, I see. But the way his mother looked at me when he told me the real story. I killed him. I still remember the satisfaction of hitting him. I've never wanted to kill him. I need to think about what I've done, right? I'll fix my feelings. But what is there to think about? Regret is a foolish emotion. I don't need regret. This is a branded ad. The power of good clothes, Nike. Just do it. You should share the links to the post. Yeah, I'll add it to my description. I'll add it to the description after the stream. The reason why is because I want like every curveball to be a surprise when I read them. Especially like, for example, like I think it was pretty effective with CBAT. And then for another few stories, there are a bit of other hooks. Reyna, hello Cyber Tiger, welcome African evening. We're in the middle of a story right now. April 24. Dad has been avoiding me lately, and Mom just tells me she loves me. They both want me to feel endless guilt, but I won't, or rather, I can't. I can fake it for the public, but the truth is, I'm not sorry. Spider-Man's story is starting to make me think more. But why would a cursed or possessed hoodie land in my possession? Everybody who knew Jack glares at me. Everyone who I would talk to have transferred themselves out of my class or went to a different school. Teachers don't look at me much or get on to me if I'm breaking any rule. Today, I threw a pencil at my history teacher. It hit his shoulder. He just froze for a second and continued what he was doing. Everyone either hates me and probably wants me dead, or they fear me. My writing is the only comfort I have. I can be at peace and let myself go. April 25. They provoked me. They threatened me. I had no choice. They would have killed me. My hood protected my face. The knife naturally moved from Rob's hand to mine. I didn't mean to. The writing was a short line at this point. I hope my jacket will possess me. Me too. April 30. 5 days. 5 days being interrogated and sleeping in a cell. They decided I was only defending myself. I could hear Mom and Dad talking. They want me gone. They're both scared. I was an idiot to think that this jacket of mine was possessing me or changing my personality. It's just a really cool jacket. I love how it looks. I feel like such a badass. I remember how I put the hood up. I put it up when Jack challenged me. I put it up when those guys tried to kill me. I feel no remorse. I feel indifferent. I am in control. I finally come to realize insanity. I wanted to kill them. All of them. I only needed a push and the confidence to fight. I got it. Mom and Dad are irritating me. They all irritated me. And that was the end. Spooky Hoodie. So be careful of haunted hoodies, because they might possess you and it will be scary. Woo. Okay. The moral of the story, never trust your own clothes. That's right. Don't trust your clothes. Clothes can be evil. Remember Kill la Kill? Do you guys remember Kill la Kill? The anime Kill la Kill? They taught you that story too. Like, don't lose your way. All right. So the next creepypasta is more of like a ritual creepypasta. Such as, like, you know, One Man Hide and Seek, Hitori Kakurembo, or The Midnight Man, those kind of creepypastas. This is also a ritual creepypasta that you can perform, and sometimes strange things will happen. Please do not, yes, a cultish story in a way. So I'm going to be reading a bunch of instructions. Disclaimer, please do not try this at home. Or, like, I discourage you from doing it because scary things might happen. All right, here we go. So, all right, okay. Get into the story reading mode. Somewhere in West Philadelphia, you will find an old basketball court with a single ball lying in the middle. Pick it up and start shooting hoops. After a while, a small group of hooligans will approach you and challenge you to a fight, which you must accept. After the fight, you must go home and relay the events to your mother. Fearful, she will then inform you that you have an aunt and uncle living in one of the districts of Los Angeles, and out of fear, she will send you to live there for an indefinite period of time. With your bags packed, go to the street corner and whistle for a cab. This cab will bear the word fresh on the license plate, and upon closer inspection, novelty fuzzy dice will hang in the mirror. Although you will suddenly realize that cabs like these are extremely hard to find, please do not bear any thought to it. At this point, you must point out in front of the car and say, "Yo homes to Bel Air!" You will stop in front of a mansion, and then it will be sometime between 7 and 8 o'clock. Even though it will feel like you've been traveling mere seconds. Get your luggage out and say, "Yo ho, smell you later!" But do not turn back to face the cabbie. Walk up to the door, look over your shoulder once, and then knock on the door 3 times. If you follow these instructions, your life will get turned upside down. And I'd like to take you a minute, let's just sit right there, and I'll tell you about how I became the Prince of Bel Air. No wife and no life. Hello, welcome, happy evening. Scariest pasta ever, yes or yes? So the title of this one was called The Princess Fresh Start. Pretty scary, huh? Pretty scary. Too spooky. Yes, Scariest. It's 1 million out of 10. All right, it's nearing the 2-hour mark. I'm like, it's getting close to my bedtime, so we'll end with this story. CBAT as an intermission? No. Here's my final story. And if we have time and people are interested, after reading this story, I will end with CBAT. But for now, we're going to go with this. Few people know that the Prince of Bel Air is a relative of the King in Yellow. His nephew, to be exact. All right, this is a saga. It's a 3-part saga. This one is a little bit not safe for work. This is intended for a mature audience. So if you are under 18, please watch a different stream. Because I'm going to do my best to censor a lot of things and use euphemisms. Like for those who came from Mie's channel, I am very much kind of I am very late night TV. I'll just say that I'm very late night TV. Like it's gonna be it's pretty like I talk about a lot of canon things. So yeah. All right. So let's see. Okay. So the first part of this saga is known as the Ogtha saga. The first part of this is they're all Reddit posts, okay? They're all Reddit posts. So the first post that was made by OP was 7 years ago, and it's called "Today I fucked up by admitting to my girlfriend that I pretend that she is a giant cockroach when we do the do." Yes, let me take a sip of water. Ever since I was a teenager, I have had very intense fantasies about getting it on with a giant roach. It started in 9th or 10th grade when we read The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. As I started to think more and more about the roach creature that the character had become, I started to imagine what it would be like if a woman turned into the roach instead. I found this idea very arousing. I would not be repulsed or frightened of her, as the characters of the story are. I would take care of her. Then my thoughts started to get intimate with the character. Eventually, I sort of dropped the bit about her having been a human woman first, and I kind of imagined this fictionalized roach species. They are giant roaches, the size of a person, and have complete intelligence. I kind of over time conjured up an imaginary friend of sorts. Horror doesn't have to be scary. Like, I'm just telling you, like, this is horrifying in a different way. She was one of these roaches, and her name was Ogtha. I would fantasize about her often. Whenever I diddled, I be imagining elaborate scenarios of me and Ogtha making love. When I started becoming more active, I found I could not perform if I wasn't thinking of Ogtha. So basically now, anytime I have relations with a woman, I am pretending that she is actually Ogtha. Not just think about Ogtha, I concentrate intently to visualize that I am actually doing Ogtha. I did not want to think about the girl at all. There is only Ogtha. Of course, doing this can never be as exciting as my fully imaginary sessions with Ogtha. There are things that her multiple appendages and antennae allow for that a human woman can never match. So anyways, I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for about a year. 3 or 4 times I have tried to do it with her and not pretend that she is Ogtha, but I just can't do it. So essentially, every time we get it on, I am imagining that she is Ogtha. I finally confided this to her the other day, and I was blown away by her reaction. I thought she might take it a bit badly at first, but that she'd get used to it. No, I have never seen such a look of disgust before. Outraged is not an understatement. She's not even returning my text now. I'm afraid she is actually going to break up with me, and also that she is going to tell people about Ogtha. I don't know how I will face anyone. This is going to sound silly, but I also feel guilty about feeling shame, as if Ogtha will be saddened by this, even though I know she is imaginary. I just don't know what to do at this point. At least these words are new to me. No, I want to scream. Okay, so that was part one. At least these words are new. En nombre de Jesus. All right. All right, so on to part two. We're gonna go to part two. Yes, there's more. Yes, I saw there is more. Okay. So this takes place. So the last post was 7 years ago. So, and then this next one takes place 2 years ago. So this is like 5 years after the first post. Okay, it's 5 years after the first post. All right. The title is "Today I Fucked Up by Admitting to My Coworkers that My Wife, Ogtha, is an Imaginary Giant Roach. Parentheses, an update of sorts to my prior Today I Fucked Up from 5 years ago." You know, I'm gonna legally change my name to Ogtha Seabird and see who gets it. Just like, God, it'll be beautiful. You can even make it your middle initial, like Ogtha Seabird. Okay, so here it goes. Hello. 5 years ago, I submitted the story of me telling my then girlfriend that when we made love, I was envisioning her as a giant roach. The gist of the backstory is that ever since I was a teenager, I have fantasized in my head of making love to a giant roach, a roach the size of a person. Eventually, I concocted an entire backstory and personality for this imaginary roach, who I named Ogtha. Whenever I would engage in private pleasurable deeds, if you know what I mean, I would imagine in my head vivid and elaborate scenarios with Ogtha. It got to the B I could not perform with an actual partner unless I pretended they were Ogtha. You might think of the scene in Blade Runner 2049, which my original Today I Fucked Up predates, by the way, where the main character makes love to a prostitute, but his hologram girlfriend kind of holograms over the body of the actual person so he can pretend he is making love to his hologram. That is what it was like with me and Ogtha, but instead of a hologram, it was just my imagination. In the 5 years that had passed since this topic was posted, I decided to stop fooling myself, and I just committed to the love of Ogtha. I know that she is not, quotation marks, real, per se, but in my head she is an actual personality, and I am in love with that personality. I don't care if she is a roach or if she is, quotation marks, imaginary. The love is real. Call me deluded, but it's harmless, and it makes me happy. I have not had a real girlfriend again since that incident 5 years ago, but occasionally I've had one-night stands via online apps, with the understanding of it being one night in advance, and all these times I always envision that the woman is Ogtha, my sensual roach queen. Sensual roach queen. Okay. Now, I mean no offense to the women, of course, and even a gentleman once or twice, the many in parentheses. I thought this was a course story. It's a different kind of horror. The many appendages of Ogtha make translation to human gender almost irrelevant. I just envision they are Ogtha. And no, haha, I have never confided to them about it. I learned my lesson. The thing about it, though, is that I became so in love with my Ogtha that I married her. Married in quotation marks. I even did a little ceremony in my living room. I recited my own vows, and she recited hers. I even went on a honeymoon, which technically you could say was a solo vacation to New Orleans for a week, but in my mind, Ogtha was with me the entire time. In my mind, I think of her as my wife. The 18+ age restriction was promising till it is. This hits close, I'm married to an A. Now, here is where I fucked up. I got so used to thinking of her as my wife in my head that a few months ago at work, I nonchalantly said, "my wife," in some innocuous sentence. I think it was something like, "Oh yeah, me and my wife love that show," in regards to Chop. So now everyone is asking me about my wife, because they had never heard I was married or even dating anyone. Everyone kept pestering me, wanting to know about her, wanting to see pictures. I became full of panic. I did the one thing I swore I would never do again. I talked to other people about Ogtha in real life. We were at a team lunch, and I just let it all spill out. I told them about how I became enamored as a teenager with the Franz Kafka story, how my fantasy evolved into an actual imaginary entity with a personality, and how I slowly began to grow in love with her. What started as mere arousal to giant roaches blossomed into a whirlwind romance, and that she became the love of my life, even though her existence was in my own mind. At first, they thought I was doing a creepy joke, but I convinced them I was telling the truth. Well, they were afraid and disgusted. I have been a pariah at work ever since. Everybody steers clear of me. We used to have a good social life. Now people only speak to me for work-related reasons. Even working virtually now, nobody sends me a Slack message unless it's about work. I even heard a rumor that people went to HR, but they were, of course, told nothing could be done. I have lost my good work friends because of this, and it is indeed jeopardizing my career, because my bosses think I am insane. I have ruined my friendships and future career prospects due to my honesty. I am thinking of starting to look for a new job, although it is difficult in the current environment. I can start fresh elsewhere, though. No matter what, I will be staying with my wife, Ogtha. For me, it is Ogtha, capital F, forever. Ogtha forever. If you must know, I do hope that even if I am an old man, that one day the technology is invented to extract the Ogtha personality from my mind and implant it into a real external body, either of a genetically engineered or mechanical nature, and me and Ogtha can then experience genuine physical connection. But she must remain with me. That is fine. Her love keeps me warm on the coldest of nights. Thank you. TLDR, I foolishly told my coworkers that my wife is an imaginary giant roach and now they don't like me anymore and my career is in shambles. Hey guys, I'm married to a stupid hologram AI wife that can't do the dishes. Right? Don't call your wife stupid. That's disrespectful. All right. Part 3. Okay. Okay. At least her name isn't Ogtha. Today I fucked up by telling my parents that I am married to, in quotation marks, imaginary giant roach. Parentheses, my beloved Ogtha. A few of you may recall some years ago, I posted about my lovely Ogtha. You can find in my post history. My news story requires an explanation of Ogtha for those who do not know. I will try to be brief. Many years ago. Oh, by the way, this is like 1 year ago, so this is a year after the previous part. I can't even tell if he's trolling anymore. I will, there's actually something about this. This guy, up till now, he is actively posting in the Tulpa subreddit. So that will tell you stuff. He's active. He's active on the Tulpa Reddit and he still talks about Ogtha. All right. Basically, many years ago as a teenager, I became fascinated with the Kafka story, The Metamorphosis, and I began to fantasize about a character like that, but a woman. Essentially, a giant roach. Wait, what? Yeah, he's still around. I found this very erotic. As time went on, the character became a member of a fictional roach species. Fictional is in quotation marks, by the way. Basically, giant intelligent roaches, and this one specifically was Ogtha. For several years, Ogtha was just a, quotation marks, imaginary figure to me. But as time went on, she became a fully sentient being that I fell in love with. Ogtha, to me, is a real creature. She simply lacks a physical body in our world, and her consciousness resides in my mind alongside my own. The users of our tulpas helped me realize there is nothing delusional about this, and that, indeed, it is very possible for such entities to come into being. I do hope that one day the technology will exist to extract Ogtha from my mind and install her into an artificial physical body, but we are satisfied with our current relationship. I love Ogtha, and she loves me. Some time ago, I married her. Now, from a strictly legal sense, no, I am not, quotation marks, married per se, but for me and Ogtha, we consider our relationship to be a marriage. I am devoted to her, and her to me. I revealed this to my coworkers, and it did not go well. But I thought my parents had a right to know. Last evening, I revealed to them everything about Ogtha, and told them that we were married. I even allowed Ogtha to speak through me to them, so that she could finally meet my parents only after seeing them from afar. I knew that my parents would find it unusual at first, but I thought they would come to understand and be happy for me. However, I fear they think me deranged. My mother actually cried, and not tears of happiness as I expected. They even encouraged me to seek counseling. I explained to them that what I am experiencing is real, and encouraged them to read through the Tulpa Reddit. It has created a very bad situation for me, and now I fear my relationship with my parents is quite ruined. They keep insisting I seek counseling and are threatening if I don't, they will no longer assist with my student loans and will not be welcome at Thanksgiving. I feel they are overreacting, but at the same time I wish I had just kept my marriage a secret. I do consider it now to be a fuck-up to have been truthful with my parents. They are in some ways traditionalists and are simply not ready to understand how entities can exist without physical form and share a mind. It breaks my heart, but I wish I had been deceitful with my family. For the record, I will never divorce Ogtha, and with our love, I know I can survive anything, but I wish I had never been truthful with my parents. TLDR, I told my parents about Ogtha, my quotation marks imaginary roach wife, and they are very upset about it indeed. The end. That was it. That was very exhausting to read. Bro, what? Okay, so out of all the stories I told, I think Ogtha, this is the worst one. I think this is like the worst one. Like, this is like the worst story of them all. Like, I just can't. It's like horrifying in a different way. It's the most cursed. It is. Is this the last part? Please say yeah. Yes, it's the last part. Yes, yeah, that's it. That's it for the saga of Ogtha. What the? Bearing your roach is a skill issue, not gonna lie. Gosh. One of the comments says, imagine thinking your mom will cry tears of happiness to find out you married your imaginary friend that spawned off a cockroach fetish. Wait. Hold on. Oh. Here he has a, okay, there's actually more apparently. Somebody linked a post he did to Tulpas. Wearing a roach and then not understanding why your coworkers' parents are confused. Go At least I don't know what NSW stands for. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if today's my holiday and I hope I find something interesting on the internet today that I heard about Ogtha from here. Yeah, I thought that would be my scariest story. Okay, I don't think I want to read this actually. Yeah, I think this is it. She is truly a keeper. As beautiful as a day my parents kicked me out. Not OP, I swear. Sus. That's a little sus. Okay. That's all the stories I have for today. Thank you for coming. But on Reddit, what does he see in that roach? I have no idea. Just one last dream. Ogtha, time to end this man's whole dream carrier. Goodness. I mean, imagine if someone made an Ogtha VTuber. Oh no, I wonder how that guy would react. What if the guy became an Ogtha VTuber, so it's like he channels her and stuff? What if, like, that could be the technology? That's gonna be me. What if the guy decides, oh no, what if he becomes, what if he like decides to be an Ogtha VTuber? Horror! I'm gonna ask him to do that. Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna don't give people ideas. You're gonna encourage him. You're gonna teach him what a furry is too, like a fursona. Okay, let me put some music on. Okay. That's all DM move, guys. Not OP. Oh god. So yeah, that's all the stories I have. The only palette cleanser I don't have any palette cleanser stories, unfortunately. I guess the closest one would be CBAT, because it's like, it is cursed, but like one day you'll see a roach in your stream. No! Like it's not as cursed as Ogtha. It's not as cursed as Ogtha, but like it is cursed, but not as cursed as Ogtha. But it's like more on the funny side, I guess. I don't know. Do you guys want me to read CBAT? It's another explicit one, so if you're not down on that, you should probably watch another stream. 6-9. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll read CBAT a third time, but just the first story. Okay, I'm only gonna read the first story because I'm running out of time. Okay. CBAT. All right. If you want to like hear the rest of the CBAT saga, you can watch the archive later. All right. One more reading of CBAT for the third time, because apparently people want an encore of CBAT. I've had encores for karaoke, but never have I had a encore for reading a story. All right. Okay. Today I fucked up. My 20-year-old female girlfriend of 2 years told me the music that I, 25 male, play during getting it on is weird and a major turn off. A little backstory: when I lost my virginity, I researched into the ways to be better, as I was a little stiff and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I read online that you can play music and match the rhythm in order to put on a better performance. I searched lovemaking songs and slowly started creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. There are a few songs to my playlist. However, there is one song in particular, which actually happens to be my favorite, that my girlfriend hates and says turns her off in a major way. Wish I could stay, but I have to open the potion shop early tomorrow. Hope you have a good rest of your stream. Thank you for coming, Sylvan. Good luck on work tomorrow. I don't understand why it has taken her 2 years to tell me she hates that song. It's a good love-making song with good rhythm. I feel the way I fucked up is that I could have possibly asked her previously if she liked the playlist or any songs she'd like to add or change. But to leave it for 2 years thinking our love life is great but in her eyes had just been ruined by my music has left the whole situation feeling awkward and I'm a bit annoyed. I pretty much played this tune every single time, so the amount of time she must have not been enjoying it. When I thought the complete opposite is annoying, but also embarrassing in both ways. I mean, also embarrassing in ways. Not to mention my previous partners. However, they never complained about the song, so maybe it's just her? It's effed up the relationships, to be honest, because doing it feels awkward now. The other day we were doing the do with no music, but I was still thrusting to the tune playing in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought this song was perfect, and I always thrust along with a tune, and it gives me the perfect rhythm for doing the deed to. I usually bust to this song and find it devastating she hates the song. TLDR, she hates my love making tunes and did tell me for over 2 years, making doing the deed now awkward. Alright, should I play the song? I'll play the song, whatever. This is probably gonna never be monetized anyway, or like I might get a copyright strike, okay. Are you guys ready for this? I don't think you are. CBAT has outro, I don't think I can. I'll play a little bit of this, okay. Are you ready? Okay. Oh wait, I forgot about the background music, okay. There we go. Alright. Let me know if it's too loud. What the heck is that sound? It's CBAT. This is the song that he does the do with. And like I always like it's so deep. Okay. I'll link it here for your listening pleasure again. But I'll do like the one last follow-up, I guess. Let's see that follow-up. See that update. It's starting to grow on me after your story. It's starting to grow on me. I like, it's just like, it's stuck in my head, but it's not that I like it, it's just funny. It's just really funny. This beats harder than my father with a bell. Okay. Alright. From dim sub to roach. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like, I wanted to, I needed to find cursed, and that was the cursed story. And you know, when you're like, okay, no, I don't think I'll read this actually. There is more to the CBAT saga, but you can find it by watching the archive later. But yeah, sorry about that. Like I read the Ogtha story and I was like, I had to read this, so you have to also. It's kind of like that. Like, I know about this, now I have to, now you have to also. Like, everyone has to hear it. Like, I mean, it's cursed. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much for the live redirects. Thank you for joining and sticking around. I gotta go to bed now. The next stream is going to be on Wednesday. I will be playing for the first time Mortis. I will be playing what am I playing? Oh, I'm playing Sonic Frontiers for the first time. So I'm pretty excited about it, actually. I'm a little nervous about it because I have bad memories about Sonic. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for the curse stream, Reyna. Yeah, I hope you guys had fun, as cursed as it was. And then Thursday, I have I'm playing Card Survival again. And then Saturday, I'll be joining Kirtir's stream for VTuber Family Feud. Yay! Alright guys, thank you so much for coming. I'll link the stories. Thank you for this blur stream. Thank you. I'll link the stories probably like tomorrow into the description so that you can like read it on your own. And maybe I'll do timestamps too. But for now, I'll see you guys on the next show. Hats off to everyone. Goodbye.